Now for rule 4, it says when we begin with the sentence with the actual words of the speaker. So you see, I told you that was the difference between 3 and 4. In 4, it says when we begin with this, with a sentence with the speaker's name. When we begin a sentence with the speaker's name. So think of it as when we begin with the speaker's name, but here, when we begin with the actual words of the speaker. And this is what we do, and end it with the speaker's name. We do the following. Now you see, here we started with the speaker's words before stating the speaker's name, and in such a situation we begin with quotation, and of course we capitalize, just as in here. Immediately after the open quotation we capitalize. Immediately after the open quotation we capitalize. When we get to the end here, you can either use a comma, an exclamation mark, a question mark, but never a full stop. This is very important. Here, when you're beginning with the speaker's name, immediately after said, I told you, immediately after the speech verb or the dialogue word, it must be a comma, nothing else. But here, when you're beginning with the words of the speaker, it can either be a comma, a question mark if it's a question, an exclamation mark if it's if it's an exclamatory or exclamative sentence, but never a full stop. Okay, so in this case, since it's just a statement giving information, like a declaration, we use a comma and then close quotation, and the said, the verb, speech verb must be in small letter. I know why I'm pointing this out. The book hasn't specifically annotated it, but I'm saying this because I know some of you are going to get confused. My putting marks here, does it mean that the sentence has come to an end? Indirectly, no, we're still continuing. So, small letter please, the speech verb, small letter, and then at the end we use a full stop. Here it must be a full stop. So what are the things you're going to note? That when I'm beginning with the actual words of the speaker and not the speaker's name, I put what the person said in quotation. Before the closing quotation, I use comma, question mark if it's a question, exclamation mark if it's an exclamative sentence, but never a full stop. If it's a declaration, I only use a comma, and then I close quotation, I put my speech verb, and then after stating the speaker's name, I use only full stop. I'm only permitted to use a full stop here. Please be careful, all right? I would advise you to take your time and study, revise, even after today, after the lesson today. Remember what I always say about going back to refresh your memory on the lesson for the day. Daily revision. Even when you get to the end of the week, over the weekend, take these 2 rules very seriously. When I say take seriously, I want you to pay close attention to how they're punctuating and the capitalization. Those are the very important things for you to note. So please, please, and please note how they're punctuated. Read these annotations. See these words in the box? They're all a repetition of all I've been explaining. You can go and read them, okay? Just to, buttress the point I'm making here. So note the punctuation, note where to capitalize. Note the punctuation, note where to capitalize, all right? Note where to use a full stop, where you're only allowed to use a full stop, and where you're allowed to use commas, question marks, exclamation marks, but not full stop, all right? Feel free to replay the video to remind yourself in case of any doubt or any confusion, and still, you have the chance to ask me questions, which I'll promptly give a reply to. So good luck, girls. Solve all the practices, send in your proof of work, and wait patiently for me to upload the answers after I've got confirmation from everybody, okay?